We go. Excited this morning to jump on and help you guys with LinkedIn and help you guys with your careers and help you guys with making decisions about what your next career move is. So in this session, we're going to be talking about how to decide what you want to do, how to decide, what you're doing. I've got some really good, like 3 practical tips that you guys can implement right now to help you guys with your next career move. Now, whether that next career move is not to move, that's really about that next decision. So it's obviously always really exciting to have you guys come on. See a few people there live on LinkedIn. Let me know where you're watching from. Use the comments there on LinkedIn. In this video, I really want to help you guys think about your next career move. Think about what you're doing. If you're watching on LinkedIn, there's a great opportunity for you guys to really be using LinkedIn to your advantage, so we can have some tips and tricks. I really want to answer your questions today. So if you want to let me know where you are watching from, we're live on LinkedIn. We're live on YouTube. Good audience this morning. Wednesdays are always a good opportunity to get on and think about where you are up to in the week. So if you're, let me know in the comments, are you thinking about your next career move? Hey, we got someone already online from the Philippines. Thank you very much for joining this morning. So hit me with your comments. Toronto there on YouTube. Excellent. Let me know where you are watching from. Really helps me to get a bit of an insight. So Toronto, I'm assuming, is in Canada. Hello there hello there in Canada and hello in the Philippines. Sydney. Excellent. Thank you very much. So any of you guys seeking job opportunities, any of you guys that are seeking new roles, let me know. Let me know if you've got any questions. Use the comments there on YouTube or on LinkedIn. So I'm just going to turn this around so I can see it. Okay, so I've got a dashboard here. Luke's giving me a dashboard. Cameron and Luke in the studio this morning helping me out. We've got Vanessa moderating the comments. So thanks very much to the team for your support. A little bit of background noise, but today I think we can handle that. So a couple of really practical tips and tricks. If you're somebody who is thinking about what your next career move is, there's a couple of ways you can go. Like if your question is, I don't know what I want to do, I don't know what my next career move is, I'm not quite sure where I can go, what I can do in terms of, the job you're going to do. Now that is obviously physical location, virtual location, country, space. I know COVID-19 and the pandemic right now is causing issues for people. I just want to help you sort of how to go about thinking about that, how to go about thinking, well, what could you do? So we really got to ask the question, do we want to go towards something that we want to do, or are we trying to get away from something? Are we trying to get away from a toxic workplace culture? Am I trying to get away from a job I don't like doing? Am I trying to get away from somebody I don't like working with? It looks like we're buffering on LinkedIn. So let's just keep half an eye on LinkedIn, please. It's just scrambling. So if you guys could maybe run a phone as well, we just check the tech. Can you just check we're on the right Wi-Fi network? We're on the office one, not Black Lab as well. We're just going to do some quick checks to make sure that if there's any issues with the sound or audio on LinkedIn, Miami, Mongolia, Sydney, Toronto in Canada, we've got people from all over the world today, which is excellent. Thanks for letting me know where you're watching from. So you guys on YouTube, you guys on LinkedIn, let me know where you are watching from. So the chat on LinkedIn has been disconnected. I apologize for that. And it looks like YouTube's now buffering. Are we on the best practice Wi-Fi network? Yes? Okay, all right, we're good to go. I'll keep going. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to fire this up. Stand by. Okay. Just, can you watch that? That's my phone, and that'll give you like an independent view of what's going on. Okay, let's keep going. So the first thing is, are we moving away from something? Are we trying to get away from a negative situation? Are we trying to get away from a situation that is existing in a workplace? We don't have a job. We've been made redundant. We've lost our job. We're thinking about what we can do next. And we can think, should I do some retooling? Should I do some more skills? Should I do some more training? You can ask me all those questions as we go through. Or is it a direction you want to go in? So if you have lost your job, or if you are unemployed, obviously it becomes challenging to go, I need an income. I need some money coming in. I've got to pay my rent. I've got to buy my groceries. I've got to look after my family. I get all of that. So yes, of course, like right now, it may be that you need to take a role. You need to take any job that you can get hold of to get some income coming in. And then you can start to adjust the levels of that income over time. What I can say as an employer, I've been an employer for 16 years. Everywhere in life, we're exchanging money for problem solving. And so that is something that we want to be, considering and thinking about, and understanding how we do that. So the more common the problem, then it's going to be the bigger the marketplace. What I've watched people doing recently is a number of niches have closed. They've become, niches or niches. They've closed. They've become much smaller. And I see people on LinkedIn trying to get jobs in industries or trying to get jobs that they've done before, that they're confident to do before, that those jobs just don't exist anymore. And I'll just give an example. So where I am right now, there is probably 90% less. There's probably only 10% remaining of jobs as a server in a restaurant. The restaurant industry has completely collapsed. And so, yes, those places the kitchens are still operating and they're doing takeaway, but the actual front of house service has all but collapsed. It's about 10%. So it's going to be really tough. All those people that want to do that serving type job, that's going to be really tough because the competition has gone from, there's only 10% of the jobs available now. So what we want to be saying is, okay, well, what skills have I got? What could I be doing to repurpose myself to go and get an income? One of the challenges is that I see is that people are like, I don't want to do that job. Now, I appreciate that. Sometimes either in business or in our careers, we've got to suck it up and we have to do something we don't want to do. And so, as we're starting to think about what my next career move is, we really got to go, okay, well, how could I learn to love the job that I can get? So the way that you can do that is writing a list of the 10 things you like about the job that you get. So even if it's a job you don't want, even if it's a job you don't like, you can actually control your subconscious to help you like a job that you currently have. So you've got a job right now that you currently have that you maybe don't like. You've got a job that you have to take because you need the money. You don't like it. If you actually write a list of the 10 things that you really like about that, 10 things you like about the situation, 10 things you like, maybe there's a person there that's nice to talk to, maybe it's a small part of that role is interesting. It helps you actually control your subconscious. So your conscious can tell your subconscious the good things. And by writing that list of 10 things, it helps you focus on it. And it helps you actually fall in love with that job. And it helps you fall in love with that task. So that would be the business case, or that would be the technology, or the tactic to stay where you are, to do the thing that you can pick up with. What are the good things about doing this? What's the silver lining? What are the positive, optimistic things about what I'm going to go and do? And that is half the challenge, is that depending on whether we are a pessimistic or optimistic person, it's a really great way to actually help yourself into that situation. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is using LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a fantastic tool. The search functionality at the top there of LinkedIn is absolutely excellent in helping you guys to go through. Is everything working now on YouTube and LinkedIn? Excellent. Okay, this one's scrambled. It's working. Okay, fantastic. So what you can be doing is saying on the search tool on LinkedIn, you can search all sorts of things. So LinkedIn is becoming a search engine around careers. You can search a skill. If you've got a particular skill, you can search that skill, put it into the search term on LinkedIn, and then look at the different categories of results. You will get results come back in people, in content, in jobs, in training, in all the elements. The different parts of LinkedIn has become an absolutely fantastic tool. So if I, for example, business strategy or career advice, you can search any of those tools. I could search business improvement. I could search business coaching. I could search marketing intern. I could search videographer. I could search, planner, purchasing, procurement, resourcing, welder, factory manager. All those positions, the data that is getting pumped into LinkedIn, everybody is getting into LinkedIn now. They're updating their profiles. They're starting to post. They're creating content. We're starting to see more and more content that's searchable coming into the LinkedIn platform. So The other thing you can do is you can search by location. So you can search your local city. Right now, I happen to be broadcasting to you guys from Sydney, Australia. So I can search Sydney. I could search, business strategy Sydney. Now that's going to give you some market research around who exists, your competition, if you like. So if you're going into a particular, we're all going to have competition. There's not many of us out there doing jobs where it's just one. Maybe if you're like CEO of Tesla, it's going to be Elon Musk, for example. He's the only person you need to compete with for the job of CEO at Tesla, or SpaceX. But for most of us, there are multiples. And in fact, for some of the roles that I've recently done searches on, in the very city that I live in, there's 34,000 people that do one particular job that I searched. And so I want you to understand that at 34,000, that creates a lot of opportunity. I can then drill down and I can start looking at those people, and I can start seeing the companies, the organizations that employ those people. I can click on a company, I can click on the person who's got the job that I want, and I can see maybe their average tenure is 3 years. Maybe they've been sort of an average of 3 years at a job. And then we can look at another person, that maybe they were at that job for 2 years. Maybe we look at another person, they were at that job for 1 year. So the law of averages would say that those positions at those companies might turn over every 2 years. Now, in terms of getting your timing right, you might then start to appreciate that actually that job at that company comes up every 2 years. And so then the job at the next company might come up every 2 years, and the job at the next company might come up every 2 years. And what's really interesting? If you keep looking and keep doing your market research, you will start to understand that those companies, actually, if the fifth company that you looked at, the position's vacant right now. And so by actually looking for and reaching out to the companies that you would like to work for, and making sure that you start to maybe write a list of 10, and that's going to be my next point in a minute, you can start to actually identify what the market looks like. And the biggest mistake that I'm seeing people make right now is not actually looking at the market. They're just waiting, they're looking at the job vacancies list and the jobs list, not actually taking that next step and being proactive and saying, actually, I can be reactive and I can just apply for jobs that are vacant, or I can be proactive and I can start approaching companies and looking at companies and doing research on companies that might be more interesting to work for. Companies that are growing, companies that are active, companies that are doing well right now. So as somebody who's thinking about your next career move, it's far more interesting to be working at a company that's growing and is active and is doing great things. So how can you get that information? Have a think about what is the best way to be looking for an organization that is growing, that's dynamic, that's in a growing industry. And so if you're considering your next career move, it's going to be easier to make the move and go towards companies that are growing and hiring and scaling. And so doing a quick Google search and starting to look at, I can do a Google search and I can say growing industries, because often your skills are relevant to other industries. Your skills are relevant to different companies. Your skills go across different companies in different industries. And sometimes we get a bit fixed in, I'm going to stay in construction. But in actual fact, you've got planning and scheduling skills, and you can take that to another industry. So let's just quickly summarize in terms of, let me know in the comments, am I is this helping? Is this useful in terms of helping you think about your next career move? So we talked about how to fall in love with any role. So right now, if you're desperate for money, if you really need it and you're out of work and you're looking for your next opportunity, you're trying to work it, make sure you're doing your market research and start writing lists of the things that you like about. Maybe taking a role that you'll get out there and do the hustle. Take a role so you get some income, and to help yourself love that role, write the things that you like about it, write the things that are good about it. Don't write the negative list, because if you write the negative list, you're going to talk yourself out of it. If you focus on the negative things about the role that you currently have and you're considering your career move, if you're too focused on the things you don't like about it, you're not seeing the good things about it. And so even if you're sort of forcing yourself, you're really uncomfortable, you really hate it, you're getting that knot in your gut every morning when you go to work, I want you to be writing yourself a list of the good things about the job that you currently have, which might mean that you don't need to make a move. Often I see people saying, look, I need to change jobs. I've got a job, it's a good job, but I'm not earning enough money. Then there is an accountability piece there on actually looking at, are any of your fixed costs in your life able to be reduced? And starting to think about that and saying, okay, well, I might have these lofty desires and dreams, but do I need to spend money each week? And doing an audit of how you spend your money and how you use your money might mean that if the only reason to change jobs is to earn more money, What is it that you physically want to spend that money on? Because sometimes a side hustle might help you. Okay, let me get on to some questions. There's a couple of questions there on YouTube. I've been in. Excellent. That's fantastic. So I've been in the Philippines National Police for 20 years. And in 2018, I've been lucky to undergo ISO training. And until today, I'm the focal person for Police Strategy Management Unit. But I want to prepare for the next 3 to 5 years from now when I retire. That's excellent. So starting to think about Magdalus, sorry if I've said your name incorrectly, start thinking about what might be, a scaling back in terms of the role that you can do and the coaching. I can recommend a really good book for you called The Coaching Habit. And that's been a book we've been campaigning here at Best Practice, which could help you with your next career move, which is to actually train graduates and train people to help them grow in their career. And that might be the thing that you can move across to do on a part-time or a casual basis. So if you're thinking about that next career move, what does that look like? But ultimately, the bigger the problem that you solve as a person for a bigger group of people, the more in demand you are. And so I guess that's the other thing in terms of considering your next move, is that often our brain takes us to a place where we would like to think about a really technical, interesting subject. And we don't often take a step back and say, well, hang on a minute, is this in demand? So it's going to be far easier to pick roles up and pick jobs up that are in demand. And there's lots of jobs on those particular things. And so that's why I gave you that strategy to say, well, if you write a list of 10 things you like about it, you can fall in love with a high demand job. And that's one of the biggest challenges I see people do. They don't sort of mechanically engineer that love for a job that they're doing. And that's one of those sort of really important points that I need to be making. Okay. How's everybody going? Any questions? You guys jump in anytime if you've got questions about thinking what your next career move is. I know Luke wants to make 4-wheel drive parts and sell t-shirts. Cameron's come and joined us in the studio this morning. He's one of our interns. He's watching what's happening. So hopefully those guys are picking things up about what they want to do and starting to get some insight there. Okay, let's get on to the next point. So we're thinking about our next career move. We want to start to think about this concept of parallel competencies. You've heard me talk about that before. I've been thinking about it myself. How do I teach myself more about marketing, sales, recruitment, being a better leader? Maybe something technical about some technical work that needs to take place, human psychology, a range of topics. Because the further you get in your career, the higher you get in an organization, you have to understand parallel competency. So what is the competency that you've been ignoring? What is the thing that you've been ignoring in your career that really is something that you need to learn, but you haven't taken that opportunity? If right now you're looking for your next role, if you're unemployed, then now is the time to be actually retraining in some of those parallel competencies. Maybe it's finance, maybe it's sales, maybe it's marketing in different areas of the business so that you can work better in the future with the people beside you. I'm not getting any questions, so I assume everybody's a little bit quiet this morning. Here we go. Hang on. What's this one? These days, people are hiring experienced people on entry-level roles. How can we explore ourselves when we need to start something fresh? So one of my friends taught me this really great tip. Go to your browser history in your Google Chrome browser or your Safari browser or your Internet Explorer and look at your browser history. What have you been looking at? What is your interest area? And so in terms of actually exploring an opportunity for a completely different career change, then often your browser history will tell you your area of passion and interest, the thing that you default to. So then there's a question of who is currently making money in that space and what are the jobs they're currently doing? So going to your browser history on Google, on Chrome, on Safari, on Internet Explorer, and then looking at what you currently look at. You'll already know this, but go back and have a look at that browser history and then say, who currently makes money in this space? And then go and find them on social platforms and start following them. Because you can copy them. You can copy their qualifications. You can copy their experience. You can copy the companies that they've worked at, and you can follow on the path that they've already been on. You don't need to worry that they're already there because there is always space in an industry for the best. It's always difficult to be the worst because there's lots of competition for being poor quality, but it's better to be the best in a flooded market than outstanding in a field by yourself, doing nothing with no market, no customers, no jobs, no employment, going too technical, too niche. And so I would recommend, for you, Shalika, that would be the best opportunity for you, is to go and have a look at what your hobbies are, what your interests are. Maybe go across, if you've got Instagram, what are the Instagram pages you're following, what you're really interested in, and then going and looking at, okay, who's making money? How are they making money? What are the steps they follow? What are they doing? And do some market research around that. Let me know if that was helpful. So I've got that comments here on LinkedIn. Okay. Magdalene, apologize that you've missed half the session. Once we've finished, LinkedIn will leave this recording on my profile, and you can come back to the beginning. So that's okay. You haven't actually missed it. We are live right now. So if you have got any questions, I've talked about a couple of points already. Just come back to this post and you can start watching the recording from the beginning. We've also got it streaming to YouTube, so you can go onto Best Practice TV and watch the Best Practice TV YouTube channel. Give it half an hour after I finish. It'll buffer and you'll have the live stream available on the YouTube channel. So don't stress. Okay, any other questions? That looks like it for LinkedIn. Let me just quickly type for you guys on LinkedIn. Thanks for the question. Please ask more. There you go. Okay. Okay, Daniel, let me get to your question. Hi, Kobe. The book recommendation is The Coaching Habit by Michael. Yes, that's correct. Yes, that's correct. You found it. Yes, Daniel. Correct. It's an excellent book, The Coaching Habit. Could you do me one favor? My desk, which is in the far corner, I think it's a yellow and blue book. It should be on the top of the pile, called The Coaching Habit. Just go see if you can get a copy, and then I'll show everyone. Thanks. Cameron's just going to grab a copy of that book, and I'll show that to you guys. So yes, it's an excellent book if you are in a leadership role, a coaching role, or you want to become a leader, you want to become a manager and grow in your career in terms of your next career move. Might not be in a new company, it might be just up a level in the organization. Then it's important to learn those parallel competencies. That's what I've been doing. Here we go. Here's a copy of it. Yes, Daniel, you are correct. So that is the book there for you guys. I have talked about it in the past. So The Coaching Habit by Michael Bungay Stanier is that's it there. So how's the lighting? Let me just get. How's that? Excellent. Perfect. Okay. Next question. Any more questions? D. Corkin, thank you for your time. You're absolutely welcome. Anytime. Always happy to get on here. If you've got any questions, please let me know. The way this works for you guys is much better. If you guys ask me the questions, you'll get the value you need out of this. Think about those parallel competencies. I started my business 16 years ago. I've been running this particular business for 16 years. I wanted to learn about finance and accounting and profit and loss statements and balance sheets. And it wasn't really, I didn't want to learn the theory. I wanted to actually get some experience. And so I just did it myself. So I started my own company. And so that's what I've been doing for 16 years, is learning about marketing and teaching myself marketing, teaching myself sales, teaching, all the live streaming we do here right now. I didn't go and do a training course. I just got in and practiced and tested and tried and made mistakes and had hiccups. So there's sort of, I think a lot of things from my perspective is just getting in and giving it a try, and, watching some YouTube videos and doing some Google searching and figuring things out. When I started my business, I didn't have the internet. The internet just didn't exist. There wasn't tons and tons of web pages. It just didn't exist. And so you couldn't Google a question. Google's come along, and, as people are putting more and more information up on the internet, you can, people that have done it before are posting about it, and they're sharing information to help you because they're like me. They're passionate about helping you guys. So those are the things to consider. The next thing, I think, in terms of considering your career move, one of the things that I can highly recommend is writing every day. And it's not about journaling every day. It's about blogging every day about the things that you know about. Because the more that you can do that, maybe it's on a Facebook page, your Facebook page, you can write text. Maybe it's setting yourself up with a little website. Maybe it's posting on Instagram. The more that you can write every day, and it's a form of teaching, the more that you're going to actually see opportunities with people coming to you. So it's going to be far easier to make your next career move if people are making inquiries than you going out and trying to find an opportunity. And so that's what I do. I do a lot of outward promotion because then people come to me with ideas and opportunities, and we can filter through those things, and I can sort of, go with the wind, as one might say. So that is a really interesting, if you have got spare time right now, I could highly recommend writing for 30 minutes, every couple of days. If you could do it every day, that would be fantastic. Just doing a blog post. So somebody like Seth Godin, who's a person that I follow from a marketing perspective, that's how he started his business. He just started writing every day, producing content every day, and then that helped people understand who he was. Okay, in terms of making your next career move, the last point that I want to make is this. You've heard me say this before. It's not what you know, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. So it's far easier for you to make your next career move if people know you, they know what you're about, they know what you do. So it's important to have your LinkedIn profile up to date. It's important to have your LinkedIn profile, tidy with all the elements of the LinkedIn profile complete. Make sure you've got your banner image and your headshot and all those sorts of things complete. Keep updating them. So keep changing them. People notice change. So if you keep updating your headshot on your LinkedIn profile, every 8 weeks, for example, the banner, change that. Make sure you're posting at least every couple of days. Here at Best Practice, we do about 750 to 800 social media posts per week. And so that is what best practice looks like as a business, but also what best practice looks like. You personally, it'd be really important to eventually get to 2 to 3 posts per day on your profile. So people get to know you. They get to know what you can talk about, what knowledge you have, sharing your experiences, documenting what you're doing. Not creating, it's about documenting. As things, problems and challenges come up in your job, posting about those things every couple of days on your LinkedIn profile is really important. And it's something you've all got it right there. It's really easy to set up. It's free. Go right ahead and do that. I personally have the pro version. I pay for the pro version of LinkedIn. I have been paying for the pro version of LinkedIn for probably about 12 or 13 years, literally from the moment that you could. I saw the value in that, and I've been just renewing it every year. There's a couple of other tools, but I would recommend doing that. Okay. Magdalias, I've been procrastinating and making a book, I believe, will help people in protective security. What can you recommend? Absolutely recommend that you get started. I feel you. I'm procrastinating right now on writing my own book. All the books are out. They're ready to go. The chapters are written. The bibliography's done. And yesterday I was meant to sit down for 3 hours and do a chapter of the book, and I got busy doing it. I didn't make it a priority yesterday. So I absolutely think it's about setting time every week and sitting down and starting to do some writing. Now, if you're finding that to be difficult, you can dictate into Google Docs. I'm not sure how that's going to work for you with your native language if your native language isn't English. But I definitely know that I dictate into Google Docs my thoughts. But you could also look, if you're procrastinating on writing a book, start to explore the concept of a ghost writer. So a ghost writer is someone who's going to hold you accountable, like a coach in the gym or a trainer. A ghost writer can help you actually write that book. And then, you can self-publish now. You don't need to print thousands of copies and cost lots of money. You can make, maybe start with a 100-page book instead of a 300-page book or a 50-page book. Start with a booklet that you can circulate in your community with the people that work for you. Turn a training course into a book. So if Magdalias, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. If you've got a training course that you present to graduates or junior people around you, then you can turn that into a book. Just record it. Get somebody, record it as a video, and then you could get somebody on Fiverr or on Upwork to transcribe that course into a booklet and then turn that into a how-to book. So I think that's a good opportunity. You can put maybe some stuff at the beginning on mindset, how you came about these principles. And then you can, your audience is going to be helping people in protective security. I think that's an important job that a lot of people have around the world. And just having it as a PDF. So helping someone transcribe it, helping a ghostwriter could go through it. I think you could have a really good book out quite quickly. So I think that's a great idea. How can I help you? Yeah, that's right. It's not what you know. It's not who you know. It's who knows you. Absolutely. Yes, you can use it in your training program. And that's my goal. My goal on social media is to get as many people to know me as possible. And that's what we're doing. So we've had a lot of growth in our LinkedIn program, our LinkedIn profile. I see you guys watching there on YouTube. I can't see the comments right now on LinkedIn. Okay, I think we're good to go with, oh no, hang on a minute, a couple more. Hey, Gary, welcome back. I'll just get to the LinkedIn comments in a second. I'm just watching the YouTube dashboard at the moment. So as we go through that process, you can really think about what you can do, and it's not what you know, it's who you know. And yes, please use it in your training program and quote me so they all start watching the videos as well. Okay, Daniel, I've been self-employed for 10 years in the telco industry, and I'm thinking to move to supply chain. What are your thoughts about this industry? I think absolutely. I think supply chain right now is a complex industry with COVID challenges. And if I think about, we have a supply chain manager here on site in one of our businesses, and his career is being really challenged because it's not just run-of-the-mill supply chain and procurement as it has been, because of border problems and challenges locally, international markets changing, the currencies are changing. There's a lot of volatility in international currency. There's a lot of work happening to try to devalue the US dollar right now to make US a really cheap option for procurement to grow their manufacturing industry. So I think right now, supply chain and challenges. So thinking about, who is in supply chain that is commenting on LinkedIn, what are the supply chain people that you could follow on LinkedIn? What are the supply chain pages you could follow on Instagram? What are the supply chain followers? Where could you follow on social media? And starting to learn everything you possibly can about supply chain, and then bring your amazing skills from telco across, because you've got planning and scheduling and all those different skills you've developed. They're absolutely transferable. So I'd definitely recommend try to learn the challenges and the problems that people have. Like the business that we have here has supply chain challenges all the time. I think that's a great thing. So yes, good thoughts. You already read Living with a Seal. Fantastic. That's on the list. Yes, so that's one of the Jesse Itzler's book. I met Jesse Itzler earlier this year. Spent half a day, 3/4 of a day with him in New York earlier this year. He's a classic individual. Huge amount of energy, and he's all like, "Don't negotiate your goals. Set yourself a goal and just go for it." A great guy to follow on Instagram. So Jesse Itzler, that's a great book. Fantastic. Okay. Any other questions? Ace. I'll call you Ace. No worries at all. Thanks, Ace. I appreciate that. Ghostwriter. Excellent. Look, you could try and find a ghostwriter in the Philippines, or you could try and find a ghostwriter on Fiverr or Upwork. Plenty of those people online that you can work with Zoom or Google Hangouts. Don't try and find someone that you can sit next to in a coffee shop. So Ace, I appreciate that. That makes it much easier for me. So so excellent idea. There's plenty of those people. Just do a Google search, ghostwriter. Have a look at Fiverr. Fiverr. Fiverr is a really great way to find freelance people around the world, or Upwork. Okay. The courses we've got are really helpful. Thank you very much, Shalika. There are lots of courses. We're going to do more. We're doing lots of this free content instead of sort of the more formal courses on our training academy. But yes, there's 13,200 people in that training system now. So a lot of people enjoying those courses, which is excellent. Okay, more questions. Any more questions? I've got access now to the LinkedIn comments. So hope I get everybody. Yeah, I think so. So if this has been useful, hit that like button on LinkedIn, hit that like button on YouTube. So you guys that are watching on YouTube, hit that like button. If you want to come back to this, it's being recorded. Obviously, we'll leave it on the channel so you can come back to this recording. If you're watching after the recording, please comment on the video. I've got a YouTube inbox. They give me all the comments on all the videos in one inbox, and I can go through and get to every single comment. So I see every single comment on the YouTube channel. And if you've got a question, I can respond to it in text. I'll tag you and then I'll respond to your comment. So if you are watching after the recording, don't be scared not to leave a comment. Say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what's going on. Okay. Where are we up to? 40 minutes almost. Okay. Tomorrow in 23 and a half hours from right now, set your alarm. We are going to be talking about nailing your next interview. So if you are somebody who is going to move in your career, you're going to be challenged, you're going to be looking for a job, even if you're somebody who is a business owner in sales, it's a sales type presentation, but it's going to help you win that next interview, help you get that next interview, find the job, get the interview, nail the conversation, and start that next stage of your career. I'm going to get on tomorrow with my tactics, tips, tricks, and strategy around pitching to somebody like me. I'm a CEO, lots of employees, doing interviews all the time. I've done 2 interviews this week, and a couple of interviews last week. And I can give you from my perspective what I'm looking for. So you can ask me questions about how to do it. Yes, of course, it's going to be my opinion, but it's definitely, I can give you some help about, some empathy towards the person on the other side of the table who has a problem and they're looking for a person to help them solve that. So we're going to be talking about that in 23 hours time. So let me know in the comments, has this been useful? Yes or no? It really helps if you make comments. And hit that like button. So on LinkedIn, hit the like button. On YouTube, hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed to the Best Practice YouTube channel, it's Best Practice TV. So not bestpractice.biz, it's Best Practice TV on YouTube. You can search for that channel and you can join the other 12,000 people who are our subscribers there and our followers on YouTube. If you've recently followed me on LinkedIn, I really appreciate the follow or the connection. We're doing a lot here on LinkedIn. If there's particular topics you want me to get on and talk about live, that's what we're here to do. So I hope this has been a helpful presentation. And that's it for comments on LinkedIn. That looks like it for comments on YouTube. I can't see any likes on the YouTube channel, so I don't know what's going on there, but that's okay. All right. If you guys don't see me out and about, if there's no questions, are there any more questions? Last call for questions. No, I think we're all good. Okay, if you don't see me out and about, you'll definitely see me in 23 and a half hours time right here next time on Best Practice TV. Bye for now.